Hello, viewers. This is Matt Gordy with the Lacrosse Promise Future Centers and bringing you another virtual library entry. This one is entitled Hidden Fees of College Enrollment. We stick that quotations around hidden because they aren't necessarily hidden or secretive or meant to, create I gotcha moments. They're just different fees or costs that you may not have known about or considered when creating your budget for the college going process. So away we go. So first off, there are a number of fees associated with the college application. There's an application fee. Many institutions charge for processing their applications. They charge anywhere from free, $0, to upwards of $50, $60. To give you some regional examples, UW-Madison charges $60 for their application, whereas UW-La Crosse and the rest of the UW system, like UW-Platteville, UW-Whitewater, UW-Milwaukee, all of those charge $25 for their application. And then there are schools like Viterbo University here in La Crosse that has no application fee at all. So be sure to just look into those, check them out, make sure that you know what you are going to be charged or what you're going to be paying for an application fee. In regards to getting that fee waived, that is possible if you have some sort of financial hardship. Most notably, if a student is on free or reduced lunch, they can either file independently or using the assistance of the Future Centers to get the application fee waived at most institutions. There's a transcript fee. And transcripts, you need to send your transcript for the application and for when you finally complete graduation. They're going to want to know how you did at the end of your school year. Some places do not require an official transcript when you're doing the application itself, but you will need to send at least one final copy of an official transcript. You're going to be using a website called parchment.com to send that, and on parchment.com they charge $3.95 to send your transcript. And same thing applies there though. If you are a free or reduced lunch student, you can coordinate with us or your school, and you should be able to get a few waivers applied to your account to help cover that cost if you have a financial hardship. And finally, the ACT does not let you send their scores for free outside of those first 4 you selected when you took the ACT or registered to take the ACT. If you do need to send additional copies, it costs $13 per test. So if we start just to add that up, think about this critically, you could be for 1 to 2 applications with a $50 application fee, $4 in a transcript fee, $13 with an ACT score. You could quickly be looking at somewhere between $50 and $75 for a single application, and you could be rising up to about $100 or more if you're sending in multiple applications needing all of those materials. So just keep those in mind as you're putting in your applications, and use your resources where you can to cut down on those fees. Next, the cost after acceptance. Sorry, my big head's in the way of that word there. We'll get through it together. So there is an enrollment deposit, and so when you are admitted to an institution, think of it like being invited to a party. And you're paying your enrollment deposit is like you putting in your RSVP. So they've welcomed you and invited you to attend their institution, and you are replying saying, yes, please hold my spot. Please factor me into your upcoming year's plans for your incoming first year or freshman class students. That fee can range anywhere from $100 to $500. Then if you plan to live on campus in Res Life, you're going to need to do a housing deposit to secure your seat in there to ensure that you have a bed or a room. Usually the housing deposit is the same or equal to your enrollment deposit, and so if it's a $250 enrollment deposit, it's usually a $250 housing deposit for $500 worth of deposits at the institution. Both of those are generally, you can recoup those or have those refunded to you if you decide you're not going to attend that institution or you're not going to end up staying on campus in Res Life. And usually that date is ballpark May 1st for most institutions, but you should be checking into that. Most places will refund those so that you can change your plans, but make sure that you are protecting your funds. Finally, there are medical requirements for most institutions, and a lot of times that's just your vaccine records, and if you don't have certain vaccinations that they are looking for or requiring or that are up to date, then you're going to need to get those taken care of. There may be other things associated with that in particular university or college, but most places the medical costs would be associated with different vaccinations, and they have every right to protect their campus and their community in the ways that they think are best fit. So be sure to look into that. And then finally, some other considerations, sorry for my big head again, is maybe you have to consider the meal plan, the tools that you're going to need to be a successful student, and the transportation costs. So a meal plan, that might be just simply purchasing the campus meal plan, dining plan, or it might be the fact that you know that you want to eat lunch every day when you're on campus, but you don't need a meal plan, or you're commuting or something along those lines. So factor in what it's going to cost to do that. Additionally, for college, you're likely going to need something like a laptop or a computer. You might need different software or hardware to run your academics successfully or smoothly. Think about other things you might need. If you're a science student, you might need goggles and a lab coat. If you're a math student, there might be different math instruments and tools that you need. If you're going to be in exercise and sports science, there's probably different equipment and resources that you're going to want to have at your disposal. So planning out what tools you're going to need to be a successful student within your area of study. And finally, with the transportation costs, those can range all over the place. So you can, if you're going to stay here in La Crosse, a bicycle, a bus pass, or your car, it might be just fine. But if you're going to be going to school in Green Bay, Oshkosh, Whitewater, Madison, think about what that will mean for if you own a car, the transportation costs, the travel costs, a parking permit cost that's going to be associated with that distance and with that campus. Or maybe you're going really far away, you're going to the East Coast or the West Coast, and you're going to end up flying to and from your campus. And so thinking about how much plane tickets are ballpark going to be, and how many times are you planning to go to and from La Crosse to your campus during the course of a year. And so most institutions, all institutions will have a cost of attendance website within their page, and that will help you factor in the costs that exist beyond just your straight tuition. And so that way it will help you determine what is the average cost for a student in transportation, miscellaneous fees, segregated fees, a meal plan, housing, those different things. So they have a lot of tools built in to help you make good decisions. So wrapping things up here, if you do have questions in this process, if you are looking for some additional help or resources, me and Haley Moe are both happy to serve you. So please reach out to us. Don't hesitate to ask your questions. No questions too small or silly. We're happy to get you on the right track. And finally, if you'd like to connect with us, there's a link here to our Future Center page, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel. Obviously, you can't click those from here, but this presentation should be located directly next to this video within our webpage or in the description box below. So that's everything. Take care, and we'll see you again.